Hi, this is Denise Mathew, and today I'm going to combine all the techniques that I've gone over in the past, and we're going to come up with something a little bit more advanced. It's not going to be difficult, but it will take some time to do. So this is not what you call a fast and quick project. So I have already made one necklace, and it's made with crystals, and the one I'm going to make today is going to be made with gemstones, and I've done some work already, so that will try and make it a little bit faster. And I'll give you all the specifics on how I made the crystal necklaces and the size and so forth later on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a topaz I have here, and I'm just going to thread a wire right through. And I've done this same technique with, it's called how to make a single briolette necklace. So basically all you do is you're going to make a loop on one side, okay? And then you can make a loop on the other side if you want, or you can do one at a time. So you can wrap it and then go to the next one. So what you come up with is, what you have now is this, something like this. So give yourself some space on the sides because you want to do some wire wraps there. But that's what we have so far. Okay, now I'm going to wrap this. Okay, so I'm just going to go around a few times, and usually about 3 or 4 times. It doesn't really make a difference. It really, the most important thing is that it's even on both sides. Okay, so again, refer to the video on how to make a wire wrapped briolette for extra help on how to do it. And I also will have some pictures so you can see it a little bit closer up. So now I have something that's all wrapped up, and I'm going to push that through like that. So that's what I have right now. Again, leave some space, and when I say leave some space, I mean right here, that you want to leave a space there. Okay, now I'm just going to do a few wraps. I'm going to hold it and do a few wraps, and this is going to have my briolette ready to be my centerpiece of my necklace. Okay, and this is what I have now, and I'm going to just trim back that wire and move on to the next part. Now the next part is I've done this many times before. It's just stringing some beads with a closed loop. And so I'm just going to start with a closed loop. When these are my multi-layer pliers, you don't actually have to use these, but I just really like them because they're just all consistent, and it will make your loops all the same size, and it just looks better for a final piece. Okay, so I'm just going to do really quickly, just do a wrap loop. And again, I will have the links for places that where I had a wire wrap loops and so forth, so that you can have a reference if you need extra help. And I mean, this technique is a technique that if you master it, you're going to be able to do a lot of different jewelry designs. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to make another loop on the other side, and what I'm going to do is going to string it right through. Okay, string it right through, and this is what I have so far. So then I'm going to close that loop, trim, and do another one. Okay. And then just string another one on like this, and alright, back to this part, and then I'm going to go to the other side of my briolette right there. Okay, now all you're going to do is you're going to continue, I'll do one more on each side just to show you, but you're just going to continue to do the exact same thing where you're just doing a couple wire wrap loops. This one now, because I want to attach it to the next bead, I'm going to have to keep that open before I close it, like that, right? And then I'm going to wrap it. what I'm using today is I think they're about a 4 millimeter carnelian bead, and sorry, a rondelle, a 4 millimeter carnelian rondelle, and that's going to be the main part of my thing. So just close that up, trim, and then the other side. I just have a little bit of wire left, just enough. This is a 24 gauge wire. Again, it really depends upon what you're using it with. With crystals, you have a little more leeway with the size of the wire you use, because they have generally bigger beads, bead holes, but with the gemstones, the bead holes are generally a lot smaller. So you have to really check your beads against your wire. And if you hear any yelling in the background, that's the Super Bowl people downstairs, so I do apologize for that. Alright, now one more, and then now that I have this on each side, I'm going to I have some already made, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just attach it to a bunch of links that I've already made, and just kind of slide that on. Same concept. So again, you can do this ahead of time and have it ready to go and just do all the links together and just really construct the necklace. And I'm going to trim that, and there we are. And then I'm going to do the other one. I'm going to attach the other link. So I have those links that are roughly about the same size. Okay, the lengths. So okay, put a carnelian bead, and here we are. Okay, and slide that on. Now as you go, as I said in videos before, just try and straighten out your loops as you go, because they could, a lot of times they will sort of bend a little bit out of shape. But so, for instance, that's not straight, so you want to straighten that out. What I'm going to do for the ends, because this is sort of the length I want to have it, I'm going to make 2 loops on the end, and then I'm going to do an S-shaped closure. So I'm just going to do the same kind of loop on the end on one side, so it's just a closed loop. Now instead of just a standard closed loop, closed link on the end, I'm going to use a bigger. Now you can do again this with your round nose pliers. I'm going to use my multi-level pliers to wrap around once, and then twice, and you have this sort of a thing, so it's sort of like a circle, a loop. Back it on there, that way I'll keep it in place, and then just wrap around the bottom part. So you're closing that up, and you are having you will have a loop that you can use for your S-shaped scroll closure. Alright, so I have that pretty good there. And what you can do to make these a little bit firmer is you can hammer the end, just a circle, so that it's a bit firmer. Okay, and I'm just going to trim back a little wire there, and I'm going to do that again so you can see. Okay. Okay, so now again, I'm just going to bend it over once, and then go once around, and one more time. Alright, so that's what I have. And then take my wire and go right down and around a few times. And this is what you have. Okay. Push in any stray wires. I like to do the 2 just because it finishes it better and it makes it a little sturdier. Okay, so now I have 2 circles on the ends. So I have about 1.5 inches of wire, so I'm just going to hammer one end, The only reason why I'm doing this is so I can curl it a little bit easier. So one in and one out. And you come up, you have this kind of thing. Okay? And then all you do is make it into an S. Like that. Okay, now that's not finished. So we're going to just hammer. Now that it's hammered, I'm just going to reshape it a little bit. So I'm just going to use my pliers just to bring it into shape. And so I just kind of make a little bit more of an S shape here. Now that it's wire hardened, so because it'll sort of stay where you want it to be staying now. Okay, and if it comes out of place, just hammer it again. And then if you don't like the look of it, you can stretch it out. So this is what you end up with. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just going to put that on one side. I mean, this will be your closure. Okay, so that part is done. Now the last part, now you could actually have done this the last part, but I just wanted to show you this, so how easy it is. All right, so you can pick whatever color beads you want. I sort of picked sort of reds and blue. Actually, it sounds like it's odd to go with the orange, but it looks actually quite nice. So I picked some apatite, some citrine, some garnet, and some of these little pyrite gold beads. So there's a couple ways you can do it. You can go and get head pins, and actually head pins would look really nice, like a ball head pin for each one, but you're going to use a lot of head pins. I don't have head pins, so all I'm going to do is just do a little loop on the end like this. That's just really to hold on, make the bead stay on. And I'm just going to string an apatite on, and then I'm going to just use my regular round nose pliers because it's just faster. And I'm just going to string it on each loop that I've made. Okay, and I'm going to string a different color on each loop. So you're eventually going to cover the whole necklace with these little dangles. Okay, so that's one. And I'm going to do a blue on the other side. So I'm just going to have it matched on each side, whatever colors I'm using. And it will just make it a little more consistent. But if you want to have it all any way you like, where there's no conformity at all, then that's fine too. Okay, so basically just put it on with the loop, then just a closed loop, like a charm. Again, this is all in the wire wrapped beads and stone video, and I'm just going to slide that on to those loops. Okay, and I'll just, there, see that? Okay, close it up. And trim. Now I'm going to do a garnet. Same loop on the bottom. Again, the head pins look really nice. If you have head pins, then please use them if you want to, but again, this is just a more economical way to do it. Alright, so now I'm just going to find the next loop, which is right here. Slide that on. Close the loop. Trim. And you do the same on the side. I'm just going to continue on up with the different colors I want to do. Now you could do groupings of several different colors, several colors of the same color, and then just do, you know, you could do like a line of one color and then a line of another color, or you could, you know, do like I'm doing one of each, and then just keep repeating the pattern. So then I'm going to the next loop. Slide it on and close the loop. If you wanted to be a little more fancy, you could do sort of a scroll on the end, or sort of a curl on the end, more than a curl, like a bit of this kind of thing. If if you have more time and you want to play it up a little bit, you could do something like this on the end. Okay, and that would be a gold bead. And then I'm going to go to the next loop. And the intention is to go the whole way through right to the top. And I'll continue to do this and I'll come back and show you the final product. Alright, so I've completed the necklace, and there's garnet, apatite, citrine, some pyrite, and all put together, and I went right up the length. Now with this one I used some 4mm, 10mm crystals, and they're just completely different looks. Like I said, you could just do just the plain set of beads, but then when you add these dangles to the sides, then it just kind of adds a little more bling to it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to see more of my videos, please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and we will see you next time. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.